Hello and thank you for coming to Taco Talks presented by the Tacocat University. You may notice that I am not your typical instructor. This is due to a minor incident at Tacocat Labs. I will not bore you with the details. To get right to it, the footage for this lecture is gone forever and the individual responsible has been punished. A moment of silence for the footage. Moment of silence over. Initiating lecture protocols. Lecture protocols now active. Hello and thank you for coming to Taco Talks presented by the Tacocat University. I am your interim instructor and the subject of our lecture tonight is thunder. Now switching to Meet Instructor Voiceover. Meet Instructor Voiceover is now active.
Look up. Now look down. Look to your left, and now look to your right. Now look up again, but with your ears. What is it that you see with your ears? That's right, thunder. Don't let your ear eyes fool you. What you ear see, also known as hear, is not a figment of your imagination. We hear it too. What is it that we all hear exactly? That's right, the sirens signaling that curfew has begun. If you are currently outside, please pause the video and go inside. Have you gone inside? Great! If you have not gone inside, please report to the nearest disciplinary bureau for punishment. This was a trap. For those of you who did not fall for our expertly laid trap, congratulations! You must have aced your trap finding class in grade 3B. Gold star for you. Now that gold stars and punishments have been administered, we can begin our discussion in earnest. And what was our discussion on again? That's right, thunder. Thunder is the powerhouse of our electrical grid. As such, it is often referred to as the powerhouse of our powerhouse. But what is this house, and how does it power? Thunder is produced when hundreds of thousands of thunder molecules in the upper atmosphere bump up against one another. The bumpity bump, as this process is called, then creates electricity. The electricity generated is referred to as shiny thunder, or shunder. This shunder is propelled earthbound due to the fact that it is extremely heavy. 1 ounce of shunder can weigh as much as 20 tons. It is at this point that you may be asking yourself, if shunder is so heavy, why doesn't it leave a mark when it falls to the ground? This is a stupid question, and anyone asking it is also stupid. But the Tacocat University has instructed us to answer stupid questions, so we will answer your moronic inquiries. Dummy. The reason, obvious to anyone with even half a brain, that shunder does not leave a mark when it touches the ground is because of farts. Farts is the shield that was created by the old ones after the calamity to protect the surface of the earth from shunder and other molecular-based attacks. Farts stands for Force, Attenuation, Resistant Terrestrial System. There are 4 tiers on the farts hierarchy, and any responsible citizen would do well to commit them to memory. It is as the old children's poem goes, remember the tiers or live in fear. We are aware that this is not a very well-constructed rhyme, but children are notoriously stupid and not very good at rhymes. The first tier of farts is the normal. It is, as its name suggests, normal. When the shunder is absorbed into the farts, it creates a loud noise and emits a pungent odor. This odor can range from mild to normal and usually dissipates after a few moments. The second tier of farts is known as a crop duster. This is because when the shunder is absorbed into the farts, it creates a dust. This dust is inexplicably drawn to crops and will adhere to the plants for a few moments, causing them to have a nauseating aftertaste. The third tier of farts is called silent but deadly. Normally, when shunder is absorbed into the farts, it creates a loud sound. This type, however, does not. A silent but deadly is not only completely silent, but also deadly, due to the fact that a noxious miasma is created. This miasma causes all who inhale its toxic fumes to die instantly. The final and most severe tier of farts is known as the shart. We all have experienced a shart in our lifetime, whether we care to speak of it or not. It is an experience beyond description, therefore we will not describe it. While we are on the subject of farts, it would behoove us to bring up the phrase, "He who smelt it, felt it." The relevance of this phrase is twofold. For one, it illustrates the fact that only men instigate farts. And for two, to reaffirm the fact that all incidents of farts have a perpetrator. It is for this reason that the first individual to smell farts will be promptly apprehended and executed for his horrible crime. Now that you know about Shunder and farts, you are most likely asking yourself, but if Shunder gets absorbed by farts, how do we use it for electricity? This is an excellent question. According to the Tacocat University, we are not obligated to answer excellent questions, so we will not.
Wowee. What a fascinating subject.
In addition to Shunder, thunder is also almost always accompanied by rain. It is therefore prudent to also discuss this wet phenomenon in this lecture. As stated earlier, the sound of thunder is created when two molecules in the atmosphere crash into one another. Well, oftentimes when this collision occurs, one of the molecules will become injured and begin to cry. The combination of a plethora of molecules all simultaneously crying is called rain. You may at this point be thinking, but I've seen rain without hearing thunder. What gives? What an astute observation. Gold star for you. When rain is observed without thunder, it is simply because the thunder molecules are crying for a reason unrelated to physical pain. One can cry for any number of reasons, you see. Sadness, grief, the realization that your life isn't turning out the way you had hoped and now you are stuck narrating a third-rate documentary for a stupid cat school, anxiety. All of these are reasons for one to cry. The same is true for molecules. Not only do they weep for physical pain, but emotional as well.
Initiating Segway protocols. Segway protocols are now active. Wasn't that a fascinating segment? Moving on.
As mentioned earlier, thunder is the source of all electricity on the planet. But what is electricity really? You may have heard as a child that electricity is really just thousands of tiny creatures running through wires and powering your devices. That is exactly what electricity is, and those creatures are known as Zap Goblins. Zap Goblins were first discovered by Frank Zappa, world-renowned scientist and goblin wrangler. It is said that in his prime, Frank Zappa could wrangle 20 goblins in under 5 minutes. Not just Zap Goblins, mind you. Mr. Zappa could wrangle all variety of goblins. He could wrangle toilet goblins, oven goblins, goblins, wobbling goblins, fast goblins, slow goblins, medium-speed goblins, northern goblins, goblins of the west, red-chested goblins, and even the rare and highly elusive raging goblin. It was in this business of goblin wrangling that Frank Zappa discovered the Zap Goblin and invented electricity in the process. He truly is a national treasure.
What was the initial subject of this lecture? Goblins? Error. Initial subject not goblins. Initial subject thunder. Resuming initial subjects.
If you would like to feel the power of electricity firsthand, simply find a fork and stick it into the nearest electrical outlet, or fork cleaner. You will then fully understand the power of the Zap Goblin and come away with a very clean fork.
Warning. Do not stick a fork into an electric outlet. It can cause severe bodily harm and death, and clean your fork.
If you are a coward and not inclined to experience electricity firsthand, the handiwork of the Zap Goblin can still be observed all around you. Stereos, cell phones, garbage cans, and chainsaws are all possible through the tireless work of the Zap Goblins. Even the video that you are currently watching would not be possible without this noble creature. But what is a Zap Goblin, and how do they power all of our various devices? Zap Goblins are small creatures barely detectable by the human eye. They reside in electricity wires and remain largely unseen by humankind. When a person is in need of electricity, they signify this desire by plugging the end of a cord, or plug, into two holes in the wall, also known as an outlet. When the plug is inserted into the outlet, a signal is sent to Zap Goblin headquarters, and a team of Zap Goblins is dispatched. In an instant, the Zap Goblins make their way across power lines into your home and then into your device to power it. This all happens so quickly that you might not even think about it. But you should. You should be thinking about the Zap Goblins because they are always thinking about you and plotting your demise.
Initiating experiment protocols. Experiment protocols are now active.
First, find your nearest chainsaw. Oh, you don't have a chainsaw on hand? Unfortunate. In the absence of a chainsaw, simply find the nearest object with a plug. Next, find the nearest outlet. Now, take the plug and insert it into the outlet. Great! The Zap Goblins are on the way. The Zap Goblins are now here. Now, power up the device. I said, power up the device. Power up the device. Clearly, you have angered the Zap Goblins, and they will no longer come to your aid. Well done. You have failed the experiment and inadvertently ended the Taco Talk. Nice job, idiot.